Peterborough's Talk Sports Radio Extra 90.5. It is 10:43, 24 degrees right now. Mainly sunny, going up to a high of 28 today. Humidex around 30. You're going to want to pack your sunscreen too. A high UV index of 8. In less than 2 minutes, Extra 90.5 legal expert Brian Goldfinger of Goldfinger Personal Injury Law. He'll join us. We'll grill him on some topics, talk some basketball as well. We have been taking your dad jokes in honor of Father's Day. And this one came in from Brent. He says, my dad used to always say, I used to have a job at a calendar factory, but got the sack because I took a couple days off. That was his dad joke.
I think that's the best one we've had so far. But that's not saying much.
I got to say, some of these are, they're a little suspect, no doubt about it. I've been really excited about this. We've been teeing it up all morning long. Our legal expert, Brian Goldfinger. We love talking with Brian. He comes in. We've said earlier in the show he was the most prepared guest we probably ever had. We were talking Raptors. He was going into the D-League roster, for heaven's sakes. He came. He brought it. But one of the coolest parts about this is we get to dust off our fancy intro.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to lie.
Brian Goldfinger Personal Injury Law. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great after last night's game. I'm loving it. It's fantastic. I love NBA basketball when it is more than the game. It's a lot of drama. It's like a soap opera.
I was going to say, I was worried because we had this interview scheduled. You said, we got to talk NBA Finals. But I, like a lot of people, had written the series off way back on, Tuesday night or Monday night in Game 5 in Golden State. And you mentioned some of the drama surrounding this. So anyone who's just tuning in who didn't catch the game. So Cleveland ended up winning, rather handily against Golden State, 115-101. I think that scoreline might even be a little closer than what it was for points in that game. But now all of a sudden you've got this drama, and as a guy who deals with personal injury law, what if you get that mouth guard flung right in your eye?
We sue.
That's it. Steph Curry decides, I'm going to take out my mouth guard, and I'm going to huck it, and ends up hitting somebody in the crowd.
That's a case I can retire on. We sue.
You could get that settlement out of court, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
With Steph Curry. What have your thoughts of the series been so far?
It's been I just love watching Steph and LeBron go at it, and they kind of don't like each other anymore, and I love seeing that kind of animosity. I love seeing Kyrie play well. It's been amazing. And if you would have told me at the start of the year, it's going to come down to 7 games between Golden State and between Cleveland, I'd say I'll take it. And the NBA, they get whatever they want. And they wanted this to be between Cleveland and between Golden State. They wanted it to go 7 games, and they got it. So I'm happy with that as a casual fan.
It's funny, Brian, you mentioned that because there were some comments that have been made, and it's no secret that a lot of people have made comments over the years about the NBA being fixed because some of the officiating that we've been seeing in the playoffs, not just this year, but in previous years, and of course going back to the 2002 Western Conference Final with Tim Donaghy, there's precedent for referees who are on the take. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying there were some accusations that were being made from the Curry camp last night. What was it, Aisha? She came out and basically said that she thinks the fix is in here, and it's interesting because, as you said, the NBA kind of wanted this perfect scenario.
You know what? I'll take it as a casual fan of both teams. I'll take it. My other buddy, he has a crazy theory that the NBA wants LeBron promoted more and more because Space Jam 2 is coming out.
That's right, yeah.
And if Space Jam 2 is coming out and LeBron's in it, the more eyeballs are on LeBron, the better for the movie. It's just...
But that's what's crazy about this finals is you get these crazy angles that people are trying to drum up, and we still have a couple days before Game 7, and no one wants this series to end.
No.
Here's my opinion. I'm going to throw this to both of you guys. I know you're huge basketball fans. We're chatting with our legal expert. That's Brian Goldfinger of Goldfinger Personal Injury Law. My conundrum is I understand the overlying story arc of you've got the greatest player of the last 20 years, the Michael Jordan era parent guy. He's trying to do something that's never been done in the history of the NBA Finals, and that's come back successfully from being down 3-1. On the other side, you've got Steph Curry, sort of the flavor of the moment, reigning MVP, unanimous. a Golden State Warriors team that wants to cap off what would be the most successful regular season of all time. So the makings are there, and you think it's going to Game 7. This has been a classic series, but can you have a classic series when none of the games have even been competitive? They've been one way or the other. I mean, even last night, Cleveland's up 20 points in the first quarter, in the first 5 minutes. Golden State only scores 11 points. That's kind of where I'm torn. I should be liking this series a little bit more, but with all the days off and the lopsided wins, I'm not feeling it as much.
No lead is ever safe against Golden State. That's the thing. So Golden State, they could just chuck up for threes, and if they go and they look amazing. If they don't go, they look awful. So it's a really hit or miss team. And I think that's really the way the NBA is going right now with a three-point shot. You make it, you're going to win. You miss it, it's not going to be a competitive game. You're going to lose, and you're going to lose badly.
Well, and that's why historically jump shooting teams, except for maybe last year's Golden State, I mean, you go back to the Steve Nash teams and the Phoenix Suns, where they would always seem to flame out in the conference finals because of this very thing. Colin, what do you think? Have you enjoyed the finals?
I have, because I think you'd rather it be this way. Like, look, the games itself have not been close, but the hype around them will get you watching no matter what. Is the payoff where you want it to be right now? Not exactly, but everyone's still going to watch Game 7. And if you flip it around to the NHL playoffs, it was a great playoff run, but there weren't these storylines leading into series and leading into games, and it resulted in not many people watching. That's all I'm thinking about going into Sundays. I want to watch Game 7. It might be a double-digit victory for either team, but I'm still going to watch because I want to watch Curry versus LeBron. I want to see what Draymond Green is going to do. I want to see if he can behave himself and stay in the game. And I want to see how this team that won 73 games, set a record, is going to react now after losing 2 straight games, and they have to go back on their home floor. I think the drama is there, and that's enough for me.
I want to see what's going to happen if Cleveland wins. Are they going to celebrate Kevin Love? And if Cleveland loses, are they going to blame the whole loss on Kevin Love?
Oh, probably.
And I want to see if Kevin Love needs to go see like psychological counseling after the series. I mean, it's just been brutal. There was one clip I saw of Kevin Love going up to LeBron James, and I don't know if he was putting his hands up to get a high five or something, and then LeBron shoved or snubbed him.
Oh, he totally snubbed him. He totally snubbed him.
Live in fear of the snub. Text the show 705-874-9050. This comes from our friend Mark, who's a big basketball fan. He tweets us all the time. He says, Jordan, I was listening to the program yesterday. You predicted a double-digit win for the Golden State Warriors. That is your worst prediction since the time I heard you referencing how you could date Tara Reid. Do you remember this? I was watching American Pie #1 the other night, and you put me in the same room with Tara Reid. I guarantee we're going home together. Man, those are two pretty offbeat comparisons, but I guess rightfully so. Okay, Brian, let's hear it. What do you think about Game 7 of the NBA Finals? What do you think on Sunday? First of all, I'm going to say it might be the most watched final at least since the Michael Jordan years. Like, I think that's going away. But what do you think? Who's going to win, Cleveland or Golden State?
I predict LeBron James scores 150 points.
Jeez.
But the Golden State Warriors win.
Wow.
And just because of the home court? I mean, this is a team that hasn't lost 3 games in a row all season.
This is what I think. Andre Iguodala, if you watched Game 6, he couldn't move. He was like an old man. He has a serious back injury. I think that they're going to give him some sort of injection. His back is going to be a bit better. He'll be a bit mobile. That'll make a big difference. I think Steph Curry is going to focus. I think the home court advantage is really going to help out in terms of getting calls and momentum. If you look at Tristan Thompson, he plays much better at home than on the road. Mm-hmm. And I just think that the pressure is going to get to the other Cavs, not necessarily LeBron, but it's the other Cavs who are going to feel the pressure, and Golden State's going to do it. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be a teammate of LeBron James? Do you want to be on his team? It's a lot of pressure. Kevin Love, at the start of the season, he'd probably say, yeah, but right now, I think he wants out of Cleveland.
Yeah, I would say so. And you're talking about Cleveland, a sports city, by the way, hasn't won a professional championship since 1964. It's been a long time for Cleveland. Just changing gears here, Brian, since we have you, legal expert. I was going across your website. I love it. Thanks. And there was a blog that you recently did talking about whether or not people should return to work after long-term disability claims or car accidents. And I thought it was fantastic. And if you want to go check out the website, can you plug the website for me?
Goldfingerlaw.com.
I could have guessed that. And you know what? It's a great resource. It was a great read. And the other thing I want to know, because you guys deal with dog attacks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so frame it for me, because there's a lot of people walking around, and the other night I'm walking around and people are walking with their dogs. They're not on leashes. It makes me nervous, Brian. I'm not a huge dog guy, and dogs don't seem to like me. What do you need to know if you're a dog owner and how you can kind of protect yourself?
Well, if you're walking by a dog and you're not a dog person, maybe if you have some beef jerky in your pocket, you throw the beef jerky at the dog and then run away quickly. They'll save you. If you're a dog owner, there's a separate act for dog bites and dog owners called the DOLA, Dog Owners Liability Act. So it's crazy that in Ontario we have an act devoted specifically to dog ownership.
Jeez.
That's nuts. And if you're interested in that, just Google Dog Owners Liability Act online. It will pop up. The thing about dog attacks and dog bites, they're what we call absolute liability claims. So dogs are seen as property of the owner. And even if you provoke the attack or you egg on the dog to attack you, you're going to be responsible for your dog's actions regardless. So if your dog bites, if your dog jumps at somebody, if your dog causes damage to property or person, you're going to be on the hook for it. So have your dog on a leash. If your dog has a history of biting people, have your dog on a nuzzle. Make sure your dog is, in an enclosed area and isn't running around, off leash, and you should be fine.
So if there's a yappy dog on the block and I want it, taken care of, I can go provoke it and have it attack me and then end up turning around suing the owner.
You can. I don't know how much money you'll make, because there's going to be some contributory negligence there, meaning that you're the author of your own misfortune. Having said that, though, you're not a dog guy. Just don't do it.
Okay, I promise I won't. Our legal expert, Brian Goldfinger of Goldfinger Personal Injury Law. I didn't ask you this. I wanted to ask you this. Have you been watching the O.J. Simpson?
Yes. Yeah, I saw the first one on ABC or something like that.
This has just been taking over everywhere. And of course, I'm a little bit scaling to the younger side, so I don't remember the specifics of the case, but I'm looking forward to the next couple of episodes where they really delve into the legal part of it.
I'm going to tell you, from what I remember from OJ, I was in high school, and I remember that they set up a TV in the library of my high school just to watch parts of the OJ trial. And I was never really into the OJ trial so much, but I remember a lot of people were really, really into the trial. And then I started watching this, a miniseries on ABC right now. I didn't realize how popular OJ was.
Yeah, me neither.
And I didn't realize how big a figure he was. I didn't realize his upbringing. It's all fascinating. It's really cool.
The big question is, would you have got him convicted, Brian? That's what we want to know. I mean, come on. Ryan, I tell you what, could you have done Marcia Clark's job better than her?
I don't know. If the glove don't fit, you got to quit. So
exactly. It's tough going against Johnny Cochran.
Yeah.
Brian Goldfinger, he's our legal expert here on Extra 90.5. And if people need to get a hold of you for a consultation, what can they do?
They can reach out to us on our website, goldfingerlaw.com, or call us toll-free 1-877-730-1777, or email me at Brian, BRIAN, at goldfingerlaw.com.
My man brings the heat, as always. Thank you so much for coming in. And just so you leave here we go. There we go.
Goldfinger.
You come back again real soon, you hear?
Anytime. If LeBron Space Jam movie comes out, I'm here.
We're going to break that one down. Hour number 1 in the book, still to come on the regulars. We'll chat with John Badham, and we'll also preview our weekly lowlights. You're listening to Talk Sports Radio, Extra 90.5.